Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Good afternoon. I am David Wilson, Business Average. Welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination pre-show here on Facebook, here on YouTube, here on Periscope, Twitter, here on Twitch. So thank you very much. Okay, so we'll go ahead and test the soundboard quickly. Let's try that again. Welcome. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, today's going to be a big show today. I do want to make you aware that I have been alerted by Facebook I've been alerted by StreamYard that there are potential challenges with the broadcast from the handshake between StreamYard and Facebook today. So the connection between StreamYard and Facebook. If you should be cut off, I'm going to give you some other places you can go to get back on. Okay. I'll put those in the chat. So you can go to, on Twitter, if you go to @DWill on Twitter, that will get you onto Periscope where you can watch. You can go to GoSavvy on Twitch. That'll get you to Twitch where you can watch. Or you can go to IBGR.Network or all things. So either of those, IBGR.Network or all things David Wilson on YouTube. Okay, so you can go there. Or you can go to IBGR.Network. Now, on IBGR.Network, you won't be able to see me. So that's, if that matters to you, don't go there, and you can go to one of the other places. So if that does matter, then just stay where you can see me. So we're about 13 minutes to live. Welcome to the No Nonsense Market Domination pre-show here on whatever platform you're watching it on. Scrolling at the bottom is my website. This is where it all starts. Allthingsdavidwilson.com. Allthingsdavidwilson.com is where you can stay connected with me on socials. You can stay connected to all my businesses, all of my affiliates, and what have you. Lots of free stuff is always there. The big thing about allthingsdavidwilson.com is that once you go there and you subscribe to our mailing list, you'll be all set. So you will be able to now keep in contact with me and be notified when free stuff comes out and what have you. We'll send you to different landing pages and websites and what have you. So during this time, as you know, we're going to do various sound checks and whatnot. I'm going to have to so we're talking about the physical health of the entrepreneur, the physical health of the entrepreneur. To that end, along that vein, I am going to need to get grab a protein shake just so I can keep going. So that's going to be something I'm going to partake in very shortly. All right. So for those of you who don't know, first timers here, welcome. First of all, to your first timer here. Returning listeners, great, even better. Welcome, listeners and viewers. So when I go to Avatar, obviously I'm here if the circle's vibrating. I'm not here if it's not, right? And that kind of makes sense. But when we do our opening, we will be going to Avatar just like this. So that's what's going to happen. So just so I will let you know that ahead of time. We're going to do our sound checks. We're going to do our connection checks now. before we actually go live. So we are live here, but this is before the show, technically. Okay, so what you're seeing, you're getting a behind the scenes glimpse at behind the scenes, really. So that's what you're getting a glimpse at. So all the hard work and what have you before everything kicks off. In studio engineer is in the building. SNY, Steve, Namin, you feel me? Right? Is in here. Steve, thank you. Thank you. So Steve, he kind of takes what, I mean, so when stuff, he really, what is it you do? Actually, like, why are you even doing it? It's fixing the contract. That's not nice. That's not nice. It's good that you're not on air. And I know I'm number one. So that's cool. You don't have to tell me. Thank you. Okay, about 10 minutes or so. 10 minutes, maybe 12, 11 minutes to live. 11 minutes to live. So I'm going to go to Avatar. I need to get my protein shake. I need to check on a couple other things. And I will be right back. Okay, good to go. All right, sound checks coming up. Okay, check. Downtown, check. Me. See, that's high level right there. You don't know anything about it. You don't know anything about that. See, that's choir stuff right there. That's how you warm up your vocals. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. If you're driving, I apologize because I know that probably was a problem. So I apologize for that. Okay, downtown looks good. Sound looks good. Video, check. Check, check. Clean off the lens here. Okay, good. Yes. All right. So I put out a pre-show ask, and it was about wearing a tie. And I decided wearing a tie or not wearing a tie, and I decided to go ahead with the tie. So that was good. I mean, for what it's worth. I mean, it really. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter. I've never been the one, you know, because there's a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs, especially if they come out of corporate America. I didn't really come out of corporate America. So if you come out of like an IBM world or like a high corporate world and you end up going into business for yourself, you know, one of the things a lot of these cats say, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll never wear a tie again. And it's like, oh wow, you'll never wear a tie again. I bet you will. I bet you if you go to court, you'll have on a tie. Okay? Because there's a lot of mugs out there that probably were saying, maybe recently, that they were never going to put on a tie again until, anyway, whatever. Okay, 2 minutes. So about 5 minutes or so to live, 5 minutes to live. Again, we're talking the theme of this season. I don't even know. Oh, the future of business savagery. The future of business savagery. Reimagine you. So we're really focusing on you. I am focusing on. So the station is focusing on reimagining your business. My show season is focusing on reimagining you. And we started last week with the mindset of the business owner, of the entrepreneur. This time, this episode is going to be focusing on the physicalness of the entrepreneur. What I'm doing right now is I'm just checking the show because we are IBGR is a 24-hour business radio station, profit radio. Come grow with us. So we're always on. So right now we are on the air. So I have to listen for the person before me to go off the air. Then I'm going to hear my commercials, and we're going to go to Avatar, and then we're gonna go live. You'll still hear me, and you'll hear my cool intro, and then we're going to get started. All right, let's see what kind of commercials. Let me grab my protein shake. Frothy. So Mets fans out there, this is the year. Okay, this is the year. This cup is not as old as the last time we won the series, but it's pretty new, but it's been a while, so we need to really get it together. And funny, we're going to talk about hydration today. That's going to be part of the show. Hey Steve, can you adjust that light, please? I don't know what happened. All right, cool. Okay, we are about 2 minutes to live. 2 minutes to live. All checks complete. We are good to go. Music cue. All right. So right now you're listening to commercials on the station right now. And we're ready. So we're ready. Feel good. Feel strong. Got on tie. got on a tie, and I'm not going to court. So that's even better. Okay. For those of you who are wondering, I have no filters at all on the show. I don't use filters. That's realness. That's all me. What was wrong with y'all? Okay, let's go to Avatar. Guys, if you haven't been here before, we're gonna have a lot of fun today. If you have been here before, you already know that. We are about a minute to live. We're gonna go to Avatar, final checks, and we are good to go. Download the show notes that press listen to the show live or as a podcast. Apply the information tools to engage us with your experience in free time. If you really want to maximize the time spent at IBGR, have access to it. All right, Steve, ready? 30 seconds to live. Let's have a good one. Here we go. I got one thing to say to you. Doctor, always do the right thing. ¿Listos? Entonces, diga mi nombre. Sabe. Ja, vámonos. Surprised you, didn't I? Welcome. I am David Wilson, the Business Savage. Welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination here on IBGR.Network. Profit Radio. IBGR.Network is by entrepreneurs for not entrepreneurs, is internet business radio, where we help business owners no matter what stage of business they are in, from pre-startup to startup, to growth, to hockey stick growth, which is really, really, really big growth, to, oh man, I'm so proud of myself. I grew this business and I'm really making money and I'm making profits, to what? Junior got in trouble again and we have to sell the business. This is ridiculous. It could happen. It could happen. But the point is, no matter what stage of business you're in, no matter what happens, we're here to help. So IBGR.Network, hey, come grow with us. Thank you. All right. Awesome. So welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination. We're in season 5. This is fantastic that we are here. To our anyone who is here who is brand spanking new to the show. Yeah, I know. Well, okay, I might as well tell you now. So if you're brand spanking new to the show, I suffer from lots of concussion syndrome, and so sometimes it just doesn't. It's just, and I've had a lot of concussions in my life, so I apologize ahead of time. But welcome, nonetheless. Welcome. To our returning listeners, welcome back as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And big shout out to so if you're listening to IBGR, if you're listening on IBGR radio, that's great. We certainly appreciate that. One of the differentiators of No Nonsense Market Domination with SAVVEE is we are also live. We are live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter. Twitter Periscope. Yes, we are live on Twitch, one of the newer platforms out there, up and coming platform. And we're also live on YouTube. So thank you very much if you're watching us there. Awesome, awesome. And I want to introduce our in-studio engineer who has been with me since day one. I don't know why sometimes, but he's definitely been with me since day one. It's just a joke. SNY, those aren't his call letters, that's his nickname. Everybody has to have a cool nickname now. It's like SAVVEE, right? So it's like Snake or something. Steve, Namin, you feel me? Okay, awesome. I'm not going to start with that. I think I'm going to end with that. This was last week. Okay. We have a show to do. So I know, right? Okay. The physical health of the entrepreneur. By the way, we are going to, and you know, this is a collaboration between Steve and me. We are going to fire the show namer because the show namer is not naming the shows right. Because by the time the week comes along, it's like we want to rename what? I'm the show namer. Is that so? All right. Well, you just need to do a better job naming the shows then, because it's just not right. So I think a better name for this show is like I don't know, it's the physical. We'll come up with a name. I just don't think I don't think it's all about physical health. I think physical well-being of the entrepreneur, but the subtitle, the body follows the mind. So if you are watching me right now, the show notes are going to be in the post that you're watching from, so you can follow along if you need to. But the body follows the mind. Last week's show, we focused on the mind, the mental health of the entrepreneur, the mindset of the entrepreneur. Everything we think transmutes into something outward. So anything that we have inward transmutes outward. It transfers, it vibrates outward. So if you remember from last week, if you think you are, if you think you aren't, you aren't. If you think you are, you are. If you think you can't, you can't. If you think you can, you can, right? So simple as that. We're going to see how now the physical is connected to the mental. The physical is connected to the mental. So mindset drives the body, the mental drives the physical. So what does that mean? What is the physical? Where do we start? We're gonna get into more detail in 2, 3, and 4 segments 2, 3, and 4. But my idea was to talk about nutrition, diet, exercise, and how they contribute to ways they contribute to success in business. And I definitely think there is a connection. And just like when whether we're starting a business, whether we're in a business, you know, we need to think of, just like we think of our minds as, you know, we can only control what we can control. We need to think of our minds, we need to think of our bodies as we think of our companies, right? As we think of our businesses, because a lot of times we find ourselves taking better care of our businesses than we take care of ourselves. And that just can't be. It can't be that way. We'll never be the best versions of ourselves. It's like you're driving your Ferrari California on like 5 cylinders and instead of the 8. And you know, you're driving. You're still moving forward. It's still a phenomenal vehicle. It's still, but you're not getting what you could be getting from it. You're not getting what you could be getting from it. So as we move into the next segment, we're gonna start out talking about nutrition. One thing I do want to point out, the best way, this season especially, more so than last seasons, we're giving away a lot of free stuff. We got a lot of reports and whatnot. And the best way to keep in contact with me, the best way to keep in contact and benefit from those reports and releases and whatnot, is to go to the website that's scrolling at the bottom. And that is allthingsdavidwilson.com. Go to allthingsdavidwilson.com and sign up. Just sign up and get on our email list. So, we're not gonna spam you. I'm not gonna send you a message a day or whatnot. But that's the best way to make sure you're the first to know about releases, the different releases we have, the different product giveaways, different offerings. Sometimes we have coupons. Sometimes we have lots of different things. So as we move into the break, I want to share this with you, and it's good for me to say this, because it's apropos. It is very much related, and it belongs in between these two episodes. It belongs in between the mindset episode and the physical episode, because it affects both. It really does. And it's just I don't think it's a poem. It's just a saying, right? Everything I have ever wanted and everything I will ever want, I already have. Everything I have ever wanted to be and everything I will ever be, I already am. So the best I can do, with the whole concussion thing, I think maybe I came up with that. I'm not 100% sure, honestly. If I were 100, like, push-ups don't do themselves as all me, as all me. But this, I'm not exactly sure. But what I want you to think about as we go into the break is you have everything. We all have everything we need, from mindset, physical, everything. We have everything we're supposed to have. Everything we have ever wanted to be, and everything you ever will be, you already are. And that's very powerful. That's very powerful. So if we carry that with us through our lives, then I think we'll be in good shape, right? So we're gonna go to break, and we're gonna come back on the other side. On the other side of the break, and we'll see you then. We'll talk about nutrition. All right, good set there. All right, Steve, good job. Okay, good. I think we are still folks on Facebook. If you can give me some emojis or something, just because of the challenge, the challenge I was alerted to earlier between StreamYard and Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, give me a heads up or flames or something. Just something. You type in "Hey, SAVVEE" or something. I don't know. Okay. So let me know how you like the new overlay. And I think the new overlay is pretty drippy, if you ask me. I think that it looks good. Looks real good. I designed that myself, and so it was I think I did okay. So clap if you like it. Well, there you go. No problem. That's awesome. All right. right, in the second segment, we're about 2 minutes to live. Second segment, like I said, we're going to talk about nutrition and diet. And I'm just going to, well, you're here, so I guess I can tell you. We're going to talk about some, I'm going to tell a story. I don't know if you're, I think you're going to like it, but it's a story. It's it's relevant, and I think it's a crappy story, but it's relevant. It's relevant, and it'll make sense to you in about a minute. So, all right. Imagine that I ran out of stuff to say. So, about 30 seconds to live, guys. All right, here we go. All right, we're back. David Wilson, Business Savage. Welcome to No Nonsense Market Domination here on IBGR.Network Profit Radio. We are entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. No matter what stage of business you are in, we are here to help. From pre-startup to startup, growth to hockey stick growth, to nice and easy, mature business moving forward, to I think I'm going to buy an electric car. Doesn't matter. We're here to help. So, hey, come grow with us. Come grow with us. So when you hit them with the doublet, then the doublet that's the power. That's powerful when you do that. That's powerful when you do that. Okay. Second segment. We're going to be talking about nutrition and diet. Is a good segue into our sponsor. So our sponsor, our sponsor makes me think of like, no, forget, I can't even say that. It's too soon, dog. Well, anyway, so NutriChamps, stay focused. NutriChamps is where I get all my Savage nutrition from. So all my vitamins, supplements, minerals, what have you, I get from those guys. Nutra, N-U-T-R-A, champs, CHAMPS.com. If you use the code THESAVAGE1, THESAVAGE number 1, you can get some free stuff. You can get discounts on your order. So NutriChamps.com. Champion your life. Yes, champion your life. And that folds very tidily into this segment on nutrition and diet. Interesting story. Is a pretty crappy story if you ask me. And this is kind of how I got introduced to nutrition. And what I learned was one of the big misconceptions about nutritional, there's a lot of information out there, but at the end of the day, nothing is optimal. Like we're always talking here about best version of yourself, the being at your optimal condition, right? You can't be that without a good solid base. All my life I pretty much, well, I would say my late teens moving forward. I've always been a pretty good eater. I've always, stayed away from fast food. Shout out to Jerry Hodge, my grandfather, who introduced me to fast food when I was a little kid. So all the kids made fun of me. Thank you, Grandpa. Appreciate that. But as I grew out of that, and I started educating myself, I realized that nothing really happens unless the base is good. And from a nutritional standpoint, everything we eat passes through what? It passes through our colon eventually. And you're going to see what I did there in just a second. It all passes through our colon. And I was eating well. I thought I was doing the right things. And what I was taught by a couple of very wise individuals was, no, you probably have 20, 30 pounds worth of stuff built up on the inside of your colon. I'm like, what? 20? How is that possible? We're all friends here. We're all adults. I've found myself to be pretty regular, actually. And they started explaining, without getting into all the details and whatnot. This is all relevant. I promise. This is all relevant. Without getting into all the details, I wasn't as regular as I should have been, and I wasn't doing what I needed to do when I should be doing it. Right. Long story short, they introduced me to colon cleansing, and what colon cleansing did for me physically was remarkable. And long story short, so there's a process, and you take these colon cleansers, and what it does is it's herbal, and it pulls all of this stuff, all of the buildup off the inside of your colon. And my story was, over the weekend, I did this cleanse, and by the time the weekend was done, I had lost about 20 pounds, and it was crazy how it happened. And I just did what they told me to do. Here's why that's important. So now when I'm done, I felt incredible. I felt lighter. I felt clearer, right? But here's the important thing. My good diet now can properly be absorbed into my body, Why is that important? Because as business owners, as entrepreneurs, so this all ties in. We're on the go a lot, right? We're running and ripping and whatnot. And again, a lot of times the first thing that goes is the physical. So we put that on the back burner, and we decide, oh, okay, well, we're just gonna go close this deal. Oh, okay, well, we need to stay up all night and do this. Oh man, I haven't eaten all day. Let me just run and get some chili cheese fries with the squirt cheese. That squirt cheese. The fun fact: did you know that I don't think I'll get sued because this is true. Velveeta is like one molecule away, like chemically, one molecule away from plastic. One molecule away from plastic. Can you believe that? One molecule away from plastic. That means that it begs the question: is Velveeta recyclable? I mean, I don't even know. But you want to stay away from stuff like that. But it's tempting and it's hard because it's a time thing, and it becomes convenient. It's like, oh, I haven't eaten all day. Let me grab a handful of whatever, or before I get home, let me stop by the whatever drive-in and pick up that. and we have to fight that urge. Here's my point. So now all of that stuff over time, I was in my 20s, early 20s when I did that the first time, and apparently, it was grandpa and all the stuff that he would give me was all building up in my colon. But I felt so much better after that. I started taking vitamins. I've been doing that ever since. Exercise, vitamins, hydration, taking care of myself. What we'll leave you with, we have about 2.5 minutes before we close out. I wanted to tell you that crappy story. Am I still on the air? Okay, cool, good. Okay, so they didn't kick me off. So it couldn't have been that bad. But as we always say, hey, it's relevant though, right? It's relevant. Now, all of the good stuff, all of the vitamins, my body wasn't even absorbing the vitamins. So as business owners, we have to make sure we start with that good base, that physical base, and then we can move forward and start introducing the good things into our bodies and whatnot. A couple things I want to leave you with. Number one, about hydration. I can't stress that enough. I do my very best. I do a pretty good job of this usually, and I'm to the point where I can tell the difference when I'm not hydrated. In fact, it is believed that most people are walking around in a constant state of dehydration. So scientifically dehydrated, you may not like feel, you feel probably pretty normal, but scientifically dehydrated, and we start feeling hungry, right? But it's not really hunger pains, it's thirst pains. So because mom, I'm hungry, drink a glass of water, and it's like, but I didn't know how, I didn't realize how smart Bev was, or lucky Bev was, right? Because she didn't feel like making me anything to eat, but to get a glass of water. Because so stay hydrated, and make sure you're getting enough protein in your diet. Protein is very important. And protein becomes even more important when we get to the next segment, and that is about exercise. We're going to talk a little bit about cardio. We're going to talk a little bit about weight training. But now going back to the cleanse, you can get all that stuff at from the guys at NutriChamps. So again, use my code, go to NutriChamps. You can got all kinds of supplements, all kinds of cleansers. There's liver cleansers, there's kidney cleansers. There's also colon cleansers. And they have plans where you can use them together and what have you. But that's nutrition. We'll talk some more about diet later on, just because I was running my mouth, ran out of time. But we'll get to that when we come back from break. You are listening to No Nonsense Market Domination. David Wilson, the Business Savage. All right. Good step there, I thought. Kind of lost my time. Sometimes you get, like me, I get excited and I try not to go off on tangents. But it's excitement. I remember when I was in grade school, I was always accused of not having any self-control, which amazing. It's amazing that what happens and what have you, and how that turned out. So I was accused of being out of control and whatnot. I just used to get excited. About stuff. So if I knew the right answer, I get excited. If I thought I could help somebody, I get excited. And then I ended up in the office. So, but I got the last laugh, salutatorian. So there you go. Boom. All right. One minute to live. 1 minute to live. In all these segments, just to make sure we're on the same page. So I'm giving you my experiences. I'm giving you what I did. Because I'm not a certified nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse by any stretch. I can't and won't and don't endorse any process. But I do want to share with you what happened to me and the results I got, and certainly do consult a physician, nutritionist, dietitian, nurse, somebody, right, before starting anything new. And but I appreciate that, and appreciate you listening. And we are about ready to get back in. Number three, here we go. We're back. No Nonsense Market Domination here on IBGR.Network. You are back with David Wilson, the Business Savage. Shout out to Facebook, shout out to YouTube, shout out to Periscope, Twitter, shout out to Twitch, and shout out, of course, to IBGR.Network, who are all broadcasting my show live right now. So thank you for joining us. So I love telling stories. I love most of the stories I tell are either secondhand, like, well, it was like firsthand, I was there and I witnessed the story, or I was the story. You know what I'm saying? So and I get very excited when I tell my stories because I like to help people and whatnot. One thing I will add regarding anything I talk about, especially in this segment, this is probably the most physical focused episode, at least we've had thus far. I'm happy to share my story. I'm happy to share my results with you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not any of those things. I'm not a nutritionist. So please do consult your healthcare professional if and when you decide to do something, whether it's exercise, whether it's cleanse your colon, whether it's anything like that, because I'm not any of those things, and I think my LLC probably protects me against that anyway. So, but anyway, no, but really, seriously, folks, do consult your physician, healthcare professional before you start anything. So that is out there. My legal team, headed up by Steve. No. I know, even he's laughing. All right, let's move on. Give me a break here. Got a show to do. Physical health of the entrepreneur. The body follows the mind. This segment, we're talking about exercise. What is it? So I wrote down exercise, stamina, and muscular strength. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So now we were talking about protein before we went to break, and now we're going to talk about why that protein, how that protein kind of ties into exercise. So I have believe it or not, I have a story about this too, right? And I remember when I first, I've always been an athlete. So I was all the way up through Division I, through college. After college, played a little, and that was as a soccer player, goalkeeper. Played a little semi-pro after that. So I know the stress, the toll it takes on your body and dedication and what have you. And then you leave college and it's like, so I had to rededicate myself to health and fitness and exercise. I will tell you this, and going back to the what we read earlier, everything I have ever wanted, everything I ever will want, I already have. So when we have that in our minds, our next step is simple, but our next step is sometimes not easy. And the hardest part about me starting back on that journey. So first understanding that it was a journey, and it was that first step. And the first step is in anything, just the most difficult, right? So once we are able to take that first step, then we are we're good. So what's the first step? The first step is to decide that, okay, I see the value. I hear what this guy is saying. I see the value in being the best version of myself, because it will make the rest of the areas of my life better. It may, I can tell you firsthand that it definitely affected and affects my self-esteem. It gives me confidence to know that, I can, like, if I needed to, like, put somebody on their back because they're talking junk, I could, and that makes so being that way, that makes me feel confident. It makes me feel like I can protect myself, I can protect my family, I can protect my people, what have you. So I don't want to veer off course there. Once you decide, then you need to take action, and you take action by finding out what the truth is. So that's going to be the challenging part, right? Because sometimes we don't really want to know the truth, right? So here's so my truth, and this was kind of, I guess, the second time I had to rededicate myself to fitness. I was thinking about, I was just toying around with the fact that maybe I wanted to wrestle again, and maybe I wanted to get into wrestling shape. And I figured, I needed to weigh myself. And I just at the time I wasn't feeling all that great. I've been in business for 15 years. So this happened back in like 14, 15. And I remember I needed to weigh myself. So I got on the scale and I'm thinking, I'm solid. I got a solid base, I've got some things to clean up here and there, probably a good 210. That's about right. So I get on the scale, and it's one of those old scales. It's an old wrestling scale. So you get on there, it's got the block, and it's got the two blocks. The big block for the 100, 200, like that, and then the little block for the 50 and whatnot. So I was okay not being 100 and something pounds. I was okay with that. So 210. I started at 200 because there's some variance in scales, right? So I get on there, put it on 200. Joker was solid on 200, right? I was like, cool, that's no problem. So I start moving the blocks. I'm like, ding, 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 ding. So I'm thinking like 205, 210 is about where I'm at, because it got a good base, right? And then ding, 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 220, ding, 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 20, ding, 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 and then it starts getting real heavy, right? So it's like ding, 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 boom. That boom was the block hitting the end, and I was at 250, and man, the Joker ain't moved yet. So I look back at my boy Rob. I look back because Rob was sitting, kind of laughing. And I was like, "Hey, something wrong with the scale?" Because he looked back at me and he said, "Nah, but there's something wrong with the dude on the scale." And I was like, "Okay, that's funny. That's funny. You got that. You got that. Not in the locker room, though. Not in the locker room, but you got that." So, long story short, it's always a long story short. Long story short, I finally moved the block. I managed to get the block to 278 and a half. 278 and a half. That wasn't necessary, Steve. 278 and a half pounds. And I had never weighed that much in my entire life. Like I had, and what I thought was, and then you start getting into this is important. This is very important. This has everything to do with our journey on where we're going this season. This has everything to do with it because I could not have improved this area without finding the truth. And that was the truth. That was the truth. So something wrong with the scale. Okay, 277 and a half, right? And instead of 270, okay, fine. But so now that it was at that moment when I said to myself, okay, something's got to change. And I had already been going through I had my favorite suit, I had my favorite pair of jeans, that I like to wear. These fit me. They're real comfortable. They fit me nice, because my legs are kind of, my legs are big, so it's just. Here's my point. So once I found the truth, I was able to make a change. You can't fix what you don't acknowledge. And my goal, and this is the big thing, my goal was to be the best version of myself. And I knew I could not get the best out of my business, the best out of my family, the best out of all of my relationships without being the best version of myself. And that's where it started. It was a challenge because I didn't get to that point overnight, which means I'm not going to get from it overnight, right? But I got past it, and now I hold steady at 235. It's a very different 235, just because of the incorporation of muscle and to incorporate the loss of fat and what have you. I'm trying to wrap this up in a bow for you guys in this last segment to bring those two together. And we're going to talk about a freebie that I have for you. If you go to allthingsdavidwilson.com and sign up, get on our email list. We're putting that together for you now. It's going to be just a free report on business owner exercises. So stuff you can do in your bedroom or your boardroom. So stuff you can do in your bedroom or your boardroom because you don't have time to go to the gym. So be on the lookout for that. We will be back from our break and we will finish up. I am Business Savage. See you on the other side. All right. So if you guys have been with me long enough, we kind of that went somewhere I didn't expect it to go. So now I have to going to change course a bit in this fourth segment and just kind of talk about how to wrap all that up. All right. So the goal is for segment 4 to be a wrap up, and we're going to tie all this together. Okay. I guess the guys, what you're seeing this on the fly. This is happening in real time. The problem with my mind, it's not a problem, but the way my mind works. So I'm really good at seeing that big picture, but a lot of times along the way, I end up having to steer and what have you, and that's this. It's not a bad thing. Um, all right, I think we should be good. And then, okay, so we are probably about 45 seconds to live. Yep, about 45 seconds to live. Final segment. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for jumping on. And we're going to have a great segment. 30 seconds to live. All right, let's finish up strong. Here we go. All right, we're back. David Wilson, the Business Savage. No Nonsense Market Domination here on IBGR.Network, the physical health of the entrepreneur. The body follows the mind. The body follows the mind, and that is absolutely true. There are definitely some points I want to cover. I want to make sure we cover, and because this is going to be these points are going to lead to the takeaway, and they're going to lead to the savvy shift we always talk about. If you look in the one of the things we're offering this season is the introduction of the Savvy Shifter Society. Savvy Shifter Society is a special group of business owners who who are very serious about making that change, making a change in themselves and their businesses, what have you. And it all starts with acknowledgement. It all starts with you can't fix what you don't acknowledge, but once you acknowledge it, we can take steps to fix it. So what I offer you is a fresh, unbiased look at where you are, and it all starts with our free survey. So if you go to IBGR and you look for my landing page there, David Wilson landing page, there's a link to the Savvy Shifter Society survey. Savvy Shifter Society survey. It's also, if you're watching me, it's also in the notes, in the show notes rather. There's a link there for the Savvy Shifter Society survey. So just click on that, get the process started, and it's just an assessment of where you think you are, where you're doing great, where you want to improve, and why. And it's a good place to start. Love to have a conversation with you and see how I can help. I promise you honesty. I promise you straightforward, no nonsense. Hey, like the show name, no nonsense. Ultimately, to help you get to where you want to be. So that's really what it's about. In our last segment, we I left you with, what did I leave you with? Gosh. Oh yeah, starting with the truth, right? So now that we have the truth, here's the shift. The shift, and it might be two shifts. The first is a lot of times, so when we're bringing mental and physical together into the individual, right? Our goal should be not to be the best, because to be the best is a bit nebulous. We want to be the best versions of ourselves, and that's a very important shift. That was a very important shift for me to make, because I'm looking at when I got off that scale, it was then when I started to notice, hey, I didn't even realize he could lift that much. Man, boy, he's fast. Man, look at him. I mean, not, but look at him, and I started to compare, because my deadlift, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to deadlift. We'll get to deadlift in a second. But I was watching somebody deadlift, and he this guy pulled up, and he was like, yeah, God, he celebrated. He's like, yeah, he pulled 325, and I'm like, okay, wow, that's great. So let me get on there, and I lifted up the bar. I was like, hey, yeah, what, yeah. But I made sure nobody was around. So I actually waited until nobody was around, and I was like, okay, let me try this real quick. And then I tried pulling it up, so my max deadlift was embarrassingly about 185 pounds. Here's the pothole there. The pothole I ran into was not trying to be the best version of myself. I was trying to be him. Does that make sense? So we do that. We do that in our personal lives. We do that in our business life. This is a journey. This is about reimagining you. This isn't reimagine Steve. This isn't reimagine, right? It's about reimagining you. At the end of this season, what we want is for you to be the best version of yourself. That's our goal. So as I'm now I found myself always watching him deadlift, and that's when I came to the second mindset shift, the second savvy shift. The only competition we have is ourselves. So that's the only person we're competing against. And that fits very, very snugly with being the best version of yourself, right? So once I got rid of that distraction, once I got rid of all that, I started to focus on, okay, well, now I'm going to be the best version of myself. And I'm going to focus on, I just pulled, what did I say, 185? I just pulled 185. My next goal was 225. Then I pulled 225 finally, and I was proud of myself. And honestly, people were laughing at me. People were laughing at me. People were in fact laughing at me. And it provided to me no motivation for them to laugh at me. None. Because I kept focused on the best version of myself. No, it's like, I ain't gonna lie. That motivated me like a mug, because I was like, wait a minute, this dude is laughing at me? Holy cow, you got to be kidding. So yeah, that did motivate me. I'm not gonna front. I'm not gonna front. And it kept me, but whatever motivates you, whatever keeps you going, whether it's some cat laughing, whether it's somebody talking junk, whether it's you want to fit into your favorite suit, whether it's this will make you a better person and your best version of yourself. Just follow that. So 225 was my max. So I finally hit that. People were laughing, ha 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 ha. That's cool. But that's why now my personal best is what's called a quarter. A quarter. Anybody know what that is? A quarter? You can type it in the chat if you're fast enough, because I don't have a lot of time. But a quarter is a quarter ton and a quarter hundred. So that's 525 pounds is my personal best in deadlift currently. So, and if you want to see me pull 500 pounds and talk junk to somebody who was talking junk to me, go to my Instagram page. Go to Instagram, all things David Wilson, and check that out, and see how we do. From there, it all changed. So here the big takeaway is finding the truth. So takeaway number one: find the truth. Find where you are. You can't know where you're going if you don't know where you're starting, where you actually are. Number two, we need to figure out how we got here. So how we got here. The big thing I did is I started to take inventory of every calorie I put into my body, everything I ate, and I journaled that for about a week. And then I looked at it and I discovered that I was putting in, I was at about honestly 2,000, 3,000 calorie surplus a week. Roughly 3,000 calories is a pound, 3,000 pound surplus per week on 52 pounds a year. It was that simple. So it doesn't happen overnight, but it is math. It is math, just like our businesses, it's math. So I stopped putting those extra calories in 3 areas. Gummy worms, I'm sorry. I had a bag a day gummy worm habit. I did. Half and half, and sugar in my coffee. That's all it was for me. I eliminated, like I stopped those 3 things. And lo and behold, I started, again, it's math. I started just losing weight. That wasn't magic. It's not magic, it's math. That's all it was. Now, I also increased, I started to really tweak the way I was exercising and what I was doing, increasing my lean muscle mass to burn more calories and what have you. And here you have it, right? So I'm thankful to be here. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope this added some value to some folks out there. So thank you for that. We will see you next week, same time, right here from the capital of South Richmond, Virginia, USA, on No Nonsense Market Domination. Here with me, David Wilson, the Business Savage. Be sure to go to All Things David Wilson, get on our email list. Thank you very much for walking with me and being with me, and we will see you next time. All right, and seen, as they say. So that's a wrap. Print it, Steve. All right, thank you everyone for being there. Appreciate that, Brandon. Appreciate that very much. I wasn't going to wear a tie, but I decided to wear it just because I really like the, it's a particularly good match today. I felt so. So I don't know. It felt good. All right. So guys, thank you. That's the show. That's the show. We will see you. We'll see you next week. Let me see. Let's see. Physical schedule. Okay. So I'm gonna get you guys the title. So you think it's like, oh, how come you don't know the title of next week's show? It's just because I haven't looked at it yet. So. Oh man, look, now see. Okay. Oh, the myth of work-life balance. There's no such thing, or is there? The myth of work-life balance. There's no such thing, or is there? Is the title of next week's show. So that should be fun, I think, if I can find my window. Hang on. Oh, there you are. Yeah, so that's the theme of next week's show. That'll be fun. Thank you for joining me. We've got some of the freebies we have coming out. So we have an ebook that's coming soon. Your passion, your purpose. So that's going to be coming. And again, the best way to stay, you'll see it here, but you can get connected on allthingsdavidwilson.com as well. There's going to be we're going to have something called 7 Tips to Find Your Purpose. So that's going to be a report that we're putting out, as well as our latest one, which is, what is it? Hold on. Oh yeah, I mentioned that on the show, the 8 exercises for the busy entrepreneur. So these are all things as we walk along the way. I'm just going to give you stuff that I think might help you, and it's all going to be free, and in hopes that you'll find value in it and buy something eventually. No, I'm kidding, but it's free. My goal is to just share my knowledge, and if I can share my knowledge with you, if I can make you laugh, if I can make you smile, if I can make you think, and if I can help you be the best version of yourself, we're all striving to be that. We're all moving in the same direction, I think. People have helped me along the way, and I'm just giving back to as many people as I can to help them. So that's it. That's all it is. So I thank you. I will be, since you guys are like exclusive and whatnot. I was going to end the show a different way, and what I had written, I had about three different paths for segment 4 that I was going to take depending on how the first 3 segments went. And nobody's hearing this, by the way. We're not on the air, so you guys, this is like exclusive. This you have a backstage pass to the funky show right now. So that's the way it goes. I just wasn't sure, and I normally don't make decisions based on feeling. But my paths were feeling driven, so I wasn't sure if I was. I one of the things I wrote down was a fat little kid. That's what I actually wrote that down, and I ended up talking more about that than I thought I would, which is kind of what changed the 4th segment. I also wrote down the deaths of David, and the deaths of David is the story of my surviving a widowmaker heart attack on October 7th, 2017. You can find that on my All Things David Wilson Facebook page somewhere. Just search for it. It's there. It's going to be an ebook shortly. I didn't want to end with that though. I'll share with you that is one of my biggest motivators to take care of myself and to have the people around me take care of themselves. So I've become a champion of sorts for, especially when you get to be my age. I just turned 46, and there's a lot of people my age, a lot of men my age, who are just dying at 46, 47, 48, 42, 40, 38. And there's some things we just can't control. For me, it was hereditary. We've ruled everything out. A hereditary excess of plaque that ended up blocking my LAD 100%. And that caused the widowmaker. Thankfully, I was in the right place at the right time. I had just finished a Rugged Maniac race. I don't want to tell you the story. I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm here, so obviously. I mean that's the spoiler. It's like, well, okay, well, I don't want to hear that story. I mean, it's not. But the story from that point to get to here, I think is pretty amazing. The way I told it, it was very chatty. It was very conversational. The ebook is going to be a little bit better than that, I think. While it's up, you can go watch it. As I'm thinking about it, I should probably just take it down and then wait for the ebook to come out. So, but that's really my motivator, and I make sure that I take care of myself, and I push others to do the same, and just be the best versions of ourselves we can be. So I don't want to take up any more of your time, in case you want to go listen to another show, or you want to get some bonkers or something. Remember bonkers? Get some bonkers. Where does that come from? So I'm David Wilson. I am Business Savage. Thank you. I'm Business Savage. You can call me Savvy. I know, right? Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Periscope, Twitter. Thank you, Twitch. I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Savvy. Had to do it.